Hello there, my name is Zach Thraves. I'm a qualified mindfulness practitioner and I am an imagination agent, and I am also the creator of my Mindfulness Imagination Fair, which is a program where we delve into the mindfulness techniques to help your anxiety, to help deal with your depression and deal with your emotions, but also we look at unlocking your imagination to help you realize what it is you want to be and who you are, and visualizing your dreams in order to realize them, however big or small they might be. But first of all, let me tell you my story. So I'm a person who has suffered from depression, very bad depression. I suffered for a long time, and I tried all sorts of different things to help me, all sorts of different treatments. I found the best one that I've learnt over the years is mindfulness. I went from a very depressive state to, I went on a course, and I discovered the power that was within us. It was almost sort of magical in the sense that our brains are connected to so many different things, and we are connected to the universe primarily. Now I know this may sound a bit wishy-washy, but stay with me here. So basically, I discovered through this power that I was connected. My brain had access to lots of different energies and dimensions. I discovered an energy within myself, and from there I discovered an energy amongst other people, and then I started to feel it with the earth, with the planet, and then I realized through visualizing that I was the same, molecularly wise, and everything else made up of me is the same as the universe, as the makeup of the universe. We are the stars, we are the planets, we are anything, we are asteroids, we are all the same matter. And it kind of made me feel a little bit more at ease with myself. I realized that there was more to me than just me and my problems and my guilt and my fears. So I came away from that, and I started to return to my youth, for a time when I felt I was purely imaginative, and I had all these dreams. I started re-watching old films from the 80s. I started listening to old music from the 80s, which is alright because the 80s is pretty cool at the moment. But I found it helped to unlock something inside of me. And about 2 years ago, I did this vision board. And I had no idea why I did it. But for some reason, the other day, it suddenly clicked. And it's from this that my Mindfulness Imagination Fair is coming into fruition. So I went from feeling my imagination was taking over, my subconscious was taking over, and it started to relieve the guilt that was inside me and the fear. You see, depression, I found in my personal experience, is born of fear. And if you are feeling guilty about being depressed, then you are fearing those emotions when they come back. It's cyclical, I found. For me, it was cyclical. And I knew when a bad episode was going to happen, and I would dread it, and when it came, it would be the worst. So I started to not fear it. I started to accept it, and I chose not to feel guilty about it. I actually chose to say to myself, you know what? You are this wonderfully imaginative person who feels all this stuff. You are lucky that you feel everything. Whether it's the dark, whether it's the light. Usually we're all in the middle, but you can expand it and you can feel all of that. And I sort of came to the conclusion that there's nothing wrong with that. What's making it wrong is our ideals of people, our feelings of how other people should feel. Naturally, we don't want people to feel sad or upset about things, so you try and make it better. But actually, no, it's good that we do that. It's not good that we have society trying to fit us into something that isn't actually realistic. We are people, we are human beings, we have all these emotions, and there's nothing wrong with that. And when I came to that conclusion, I thought, well, that works for me. How does it work with everybody else? So I started studying mindfulness, and mindfulness is kind of that. It is about accepting your emotions, giving yourself space to listen to it, to watch it, and then you realise that you have a choice over what you should do with it. You choose to act or you choose not to act, but whatever you do, it's your choice. And when you realise it's your choice, that's when all of this can start to fly away. Now, I know it's always going to be there, and that's fine. I'm okay with that, and I accept now days when I wake up and I'm feeling a bit crappy, and I don't want to get out of bed. I mean, we have all these silly words for it, but it really is a horrible, empty feeling, which is very difficult to describe. But you know it when you've got it. But I accept it, and now when I have these low swings, it doesn't last as long. Sometimes it can be done in a matter of hours. Sometimes it's like having a headache, and it's gone. So I'm trying to describe to you my feelings and how I have come to terms with who I am. Now I want to share that with everybody else. Now I want to try and show you out there who are listening, who are watching, that you too can do this. You can do this for yourself. Ultimately, you are the most important person in your life. There's no getting away from that. You choose what you do. Whether you say one thing or another, you think, oh, so-and-so is this more important, that's more important. Actually, no. The bottom line is, you are more important. And what we don't seem to understand is, if you make yourself happy, you're equally making the people that love you happy. It starts from here. You can't be miserable and make people happy. That's not the way it works. It starts from inside you, and it's not being selfish. It's not being self-satisfied or whatever. It's the truth, and we don't seem to acknowledge that. I don't think enough. Certainly not in the UK. It seems to be that we have this idea that being miserable and working hard are two things that will get you success. Well, no, it doesn't. It just makes you more miserable and more hardworking, and you're stuck then in this prison that you've created, that society has allowed you to develop, and then will fit in things around it to help you not wake up from that. Now, I'm not saying society is wrong. Yes, there's lots of things wrong with society. Yes, there's lots of things wrong with every country, lots of things wrong with lots of leaders. But you're the person who can change your life. You're the one who can do it. And you don't have to change the world, you just have to change what's inside you. It's about listening to your heart and your soul and your subconscious. So I did this little, I suppose it's a vision board, it's a mind map or whatever. I had no idea why I did it. And it clicked, as I said earlier. It clicked yesterday. So here, we've got Charlie Chaplin. So Charlie Chaplin, to me, I know he has had a rather salubrious past, and there's lots of controversy there. But if you look at his character, the tramp, he epitomizes the imagination. He's the down on his heels underdog who rises up and challenges authority, challenges bullying, and he does it with love. Yes, he can be naughty, but he does it with love. Anything he chooses to do is with love. And that's the character that I like. That's what sings to me. we've got cherry Coca-Cola here. Now, I'm not here to promote cherry Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola is bad for your teeth. We all know that, just like any sugary substance. It's fine in moderation, just as most things are. But what this picture is a can of cherry cola from the 1980s. And that's the image that makes me remind myself of my youth. I drank too much of it in the 80s, and I've got fillings to prove it. But it's a symbol to me of the fun and the carefree sort of attitude that I had, which I think is important. We need that. The same with The Empire Strikes Back. It's a film that to me just reminds me of my childhood. We've got a fairy there. We've got the Kraken being turned to stone by Medusa's head and Perseus. Well, that's all about mythology, and it's all about the lessons that we are told when we're read stories. I mean, you only have to pick up some Grimm fairy tales, Kipling's Just So stories. They're all lessons. We're all being told lessons, and you can be told an awful lot more in one of those myths and legends than you can be in reading a textbook. We've got Marvel tales here, which of course, you know, our imaginations are so important for dealing with the current world, dealing with the past, and dealing with the future, potential futures. We have a whole host of writers, science fiction writers, fantasy writers, who tell us how things are now by creating these alternate realities. And that is vitally important for learning lessons along the way. And this is important. All these comics, books and films are so important to our world. And it's important that we continue to use our imaginations to challenge the status quo and challenge all these things. Now, this is an important one for me. It's the Moonraker soundtrack. So we all have a very simple meditation technique, which I'll guide you through in a moment, is taking your favourite song and using that as a way of calming yourself. Moonraker, for some reason or another, I think it's because of the melody and the way it flows, and it's sung by Shirley Bassey, written by John Barry. It has this wonderful, beautiful, gentle flow to it, like you're floating in space. And it just, to me, it just hits me right there, and I'm instantly in a calmer mood. Now we have a book here. This is something very old, the Lone Wolf series of books, similar to the Fighting Fantasy series of books. The idea here is that you are in control of your destiny. You have complete control over it. You make choices all along the way, and every choice you make is down to you. And those books, they're the choose your own adventure books. It's life. That's what life is. No one is to blame for anything but you, ultimately. You have to take responsibility for yourself if you're going to move forward. No one's to blame for anything that happens in your life. You choose to blame people. And it's a choice that you make. You choose to be angry, you choose to be happy. There you go. And finally here, the Universal Monsters. Now, I don't know why I put those on there, but they are classic tales, and they make great stories, and they are very human stories about love, about appearance, about fear, about horror, about people standing out and being scared of people that stand out. So it suddenly clicked why I did all of this, and that only clicked with me yesterday. So I'm going to be producing a series of videos based on my Mindfulness Imagination Fair, and during those, as part of those videos, which I'll be posting regularly on YouTube, you can see them for nothing. There's no adverts attached. You know, I'm just hoping that through all of this, when we're through everything that we're going through at the moment, that I can come and see you, and I can come and do this in person. But I will be adding some very short meditations at the end, mindful meditations based on your imagination. I hope I make it fun. That's what I want to do. I'm not the sort of person who sits here chanting and sits here cross-legged and expects myself to float across the room. That's not what this is all about. This is about being true to you, understanding who you are inside you. That's what I'm trying to get to. And for you to accept who you are inside you and then move forward. And once you start moving forward, visualizing where it is you want to be, not where you are now, where you want to be. You can make your dreams come true. So let's finish now with a very simple meditation based on Moonraker. So as I say, Moonraker, the theme tune to the film Moonraker obviously, is a track that I listen to and it makes me feel calm. So I want you to choose your favourite track, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be something popular, it doesn't have to be something in the charts, it could be a piece of film music, it could be a pop song, it could be a piece of opera, it could be a bit of rock and roll, it can be anything. But what it has to do is connect to you. And you know that, usually you'll know that, because you'll start to get those little dimples on your arms, on your legs, on the back of your neck. You'll start to get an emotional feeling. And it's a very simple thing that you can do, and it is meditation. Wherever you're sitting, and if you've got access to Spotify, brilliant, you could have the track on your phone, that's brilliant. Wherever you're sitting, plug your earphones in, close your eyes, play your track first, and then close your eyes. And then listen to your breathing. You don't have to listen to the words of the track unless you really want to. Listen to your breathing and allow yourself to flow and allow your mind to open up. Now, the Moonraker song, I don't really listen to the words. It's the song. It's the musical part of it that carries me through. But you can do, if you do that for that track, it could be 2 minutes long, it could be 5 minutes long, but just give yourself that time. Listen to your breathing, allow yourself to be taken away. You're opening up your mind, you're releasing your subconscious and your imagination, and you're opening up pathways to your connection to the universe. I hope you try it. It has worked for me. I'm sure it works for other people. It's worth a go, because at the end of the day, if you've got nothing to lose, then the least you've done is listen to your favourite track of music. Anyway, I'm signing off now. Good luck with everything, and I will see you next time.